Hey there, writers. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you haven't been here before, my name is Emma and I am a romance writer based in the UK. So today's video is going to be a little bit of an update on my learning to outline journey. If you haven't heard anything about this before, then basically what's going on is that I am currently writing my first contemporary romance series. At the moment, I am working on the third book in this series. So I have written quite a few standalone romances before, and a common thread with all of them is that I tend to get very frustrated with myself because I don't plan out what I'm going to be writing as well as I could. I don't outline properly in particular. And yeah, I get cross with myself, and I think that it means that I make the job harder for myself, basically. So, my idea is that I would learn the proper logistics, if you like, of outlining from an expert, and this might help me in my writing journey. So this expert happens to be a friend of mine, my friend Thomas. His book, The 27 Plot Point Outline, was out just last month. It's absolutely brilliant, and that is what I am using to help me. So I have read plenty of creative writing books before, and I have read some of them about outlining things like Save the Cat in particular. It's not like I don't understand about how narrative works. It's just what I've always done is taken little bits that I think could be helpful to me and kind of discarded the rest. But I think it is time for me to take it a little bit more seriously, which is where Thomas's book comes in. So even if you are not wanting to outline completely using Thomas's method, which is quite involved, basically his book takes you through everything that he does, from his concept of what the story could be right the way through all of the drafts that he does, but particularly focusing on using this 27 plot point outline method. And there's a lot in there. There are quite a few steps that he does in his own process. And I definitely wouldn't do all of those steps because I don't think that that would work for me. Part of that is because Thomas writes a variety of different genres, but mainly like epic fantasy, basically, which is a lot. They're big, thick books with lots of characters, with all those character arcs and all of those different plots running through them. I write traditional romance, and so there is basically one main plot running through. That is the focus of the story, with two characters who are, again, the absolute focus of the story. And so I kind of feel that I don't quite need to go as in depth with some of the steps as he does. This is the man, though, who like just outlines a story for fun in his head, for something to do. So he takes this seriously. So anyway, my point being is that even if you don't want to go into quite as much depth, and if you're not sure if you do actually want to outline properly, or if you're happy just kind of pantsing along, this book will teach you how stories work, the different ups and downs that you need to have for a story to really work for a reader. And so it is definitely worth reading, even if you're not sure that you want to do the entire process. So basically, what's been happening is I have been doing my best, I swear, but I'm set in my ways. I'm set in my ways. I've written quite a few books, and I think my brain has a certain way that it wants to do things, even though that's maybe not the most sensible way to do them. It's just going to me, look, this is how we do it, and it's always worked out fine. So it's been a little bit of a process. The way that my brain works when I'm writing a story is it's partly like linear with the story, but also I will just have ideas for whole scenes or conversations, or even just an image that I would like to convey at some point in my book. And I like to be able to get those down, and I will often write them out fully, practically exactly as they would be in the finished manuscript. And So I have been struggling trying to kind of keep to that, starting at the beginning and working all the way through what's going to happen in the story until you get to the end. And then basically you go back through and you add more detail where you want. I am trying. But like I say, it has not been easy. I did, however, have a little bit of a breakthrough about a week ago. So part of what the issue was, I think, is that I was needing to keep going back and referring to sections in the book quite a lot. And I have highlighted bits in the book, but it was difficult, like having to go back and just look up, okay, so like um, what's supposed to happen next in terms of, with the plot points. Is it supposed to be that everybody's needing to chill for a little bit, or is there supposed to be like another ramp up of adventure, or what according to the plot points is supposed to go on next? But then I remembered that Thomas actually has a lot of free resources available, and he links them in the description of his YouTube videos. So I went to one of his videos, went to the description, and I took a look at some of the resources, which are really, really useful. So a couple of the most useful ones were that he takes Pirates of the Caribbean and The Shawshank Redemption, and he breaks those films down into the 27 plot points so that you can see how they work in films. So it is quite usual to use films as examples when you're talking about plot points, because obviously films are shorter than books, so it's easier to see those plot points, but also more people are likely to have seen those films than to have read certain books. So it just works for both of those reasons. So that was really interesting and useful. But also, there was a PDF where all of the plot points are broken down with kind of what the aim of them is, what should be included. And then he uses Dan Brown's The Da Vinci Code as an example here for each of the plot points to say what happens in that story at the various plot points, so that you've got an example of exactly how that works in a book. So that has been absolutely invaluable, because it's just kind of a quick checklist that I've got, and that I can just easily look at rather than having to go through the book. Yeah, so that has definitely helped. We are getting there, is what I would say, but in a very me roundabout kind of way. But that is how I plan to do this anyway, because I know that I'm stubborn, I'm obstinate, I am stuck in my ways. I'm never going to do anything the exact way that I'm supposed to do it. I never have my entire life, so I'm not about to change now. So I'm kind of, yeah, I'm doing it my own way, and I think it is helping. And I think actually writing the book is going to be easier. At what point I would actually say that I'm officially writing this book, I'm not sure, because I have got quite a few thousand words down now, but I wouldn't say that I'm properly writing it yet. And I certainly haven't got the whole of the outline straight in my mind yet. So it will definitely be a little bit longer before that's done, and I'm really kind of into it and getting those word counts every day. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me for this little update. I hope that you found it interesting. And yeah, if you are looking to learn how to outline, or just if you want to learn more about story structure, then do make sure that you check out Thomas's book. It is definitely the best book that I have read about this subject. It's the most accessible, with plenty of examples so that you can actually understand what is going on, and you can really feel his enthusiasm for the subject. He's a great teacher, and he just loves to share his knowledge about writing craft. Also, make sure that you check out his YouTube channel, which I will link down in the description below. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this video, please make sure that you boop that like button and subscribe if you're not already, because we have a lot of fun on this channel, and I will catch you in the next one.